to this new series in my channel where I'm doing quick reviews on things that I've used in the past, mostly related to the tracer. I might do some reviews on gear, but these are not extremely extensive. There's a million reviews out there from journalists that are much better than me. And I just want to share my opinion because I know some of you guys care, and if you don't care, then just don't watch it. So first episode is on the tracer itself. This is a 2015 Yamaha Tracer 900 or MT-09 tracer or even FJ-09 tracer. So no, sorry, if you use the FJ designation, which is American, then you don't call it tracer. So it's an FJ-09 or MT-09 tracer or a Tracer 900. Great job, Yamaha, great job. So I wanted to do a review on this bike. So it is a 2015, like I mentioned. We are now in 2018, so the bike is just 3 years old. Actually, it's going to be 3 years old this week. And I have just ordered a new Tracer GT, so I'm returning this one to the dealer as a trade-off for the new bike. So I wanted to do a final review after 3 years. I've removed already everything that I installed on it, as in terms of accessories and upgrades and things like that. The exhaust that I have, the Akrapovic, it's going onto the new bike because it's compatible. So this one will get the original exhaust, but that's about it. About the bike itself, it is a great bike. It's a great bike. It's not perfect. I've had a lot of fun on it. I don't regret at all buying. I don't think there was a better bike for me when I bought it. I still think it's the ideal bike for the type of riding I do and for what I want from a bike. That's why I'm ordering the new one, which has a few improvements, but it's still basically the same bike. But it's not perfect and it has flaws. I think the most important flaw that we need to acknowledge and accept is the wobble. So the front end wobbles at speed. There's a million theories why that's happening and what to do to fix it and things like that. I think it's just a matter of weight distribution and aerodynamics. So this bike is derived from the MT-09, which is a very aggressive geometry bike because it's supposed to be very fun. So this has a very aggressive geometry. It has a short wheelbase and a lot of the weight is in the front. But then they've developed the Tracer, which is a sport touring version with some fairings and bigger tank and things like that. They have these hand guards and this wonky screen and things like that, and the aerodynamics are not great on it. Together with the short wheelbase, with the aggressive stance, weight distribution, it tends to wobble. It's not the only bike that tends to wobble, and nobody talks about it on other bikes, but the GS 1200 also wobbles. If you go at speed, it will wobble. There's plenty of videos on YouTube about it. This one wobbles a lot. On my case, it wobbles at around 170, 180 kilometers an hour, which I've tested in Germany, of course, in the Autobahn. So it's a speed I rarely do. It's too fast, it takes too much fuel, it's tiring, and it's not the sort of riding I do, so I don't usually ride at those speeds. So it's not a huge deal for me, but it is a problem, and it's a safety issue because when it starts wobbling, you can lose control and crash. And if you're doing 180 and this thing starts wobbling, you need to react fast and just calm things down. So that's one of the biggest issues of this bike, and it's a bit amazing how Yamaha puts out a bike with such a problem, and they haven't done anything to fix it until the new GT version, which supposedly has some upgrades that will get rid of it. So I guess we'll find out soon enough when I get mine. But that is the main issue. Now the second issue I have with this bike is the aerodynamics and the screen. It's terrible. It's horrible. This screen, it's unusable. You can adjust it in height, but it's still too much buffeting, too much noise does not give you enough protection. They had to make it very narrow because of these wonky hand guards, and in the end, it's just not good enough. So they've also changed it for the new GT version, the new 2018. But I've been riding with another screen, with a Puig touring screen, which is much taller, much wider. So I haven't had this issue for a long time because I haven't been using this screen, but this one is not good. And some people say it is. So I guess it's a relation of height and how you ride and things like that. So I don't know, I didn't like it. What else? The seat is also not very comfortable, but on the last trip I did with this bike to Ireland a couple of weeks ago, it finally clicked why the seat is not comfortable. It's not the seat itself. It's a conjunction of the seat and the sitting position, because most of the bikes in this kind of high heels format, where you have long suspension, tall bikes, upright position, your feet are very much forward, right? So you do a right angle, a 90-degree angle between your leg and your upper leg and your lower leg, and your feet are forward. So the weight is mostly on your back and your butt. On this bike, the feet are backwards, right? Are towards the back. So it's in the lower half, it's a sporty position, and in the upper half, it is an adventure position. So that puts a lot of pressure between your legs and on your butt, because you cannot hold your weight with the feet on the foot pegs. So all the weight is in your butt, while on an adventure bike you have your feet forward, so you can kind of hold some of your weight with your feet and your legs, and the other bit with your butt. So it kind of distributes. This one, there's no distribution. It's just there between your legs and in your butt. Your feet are dangling backwards, so there's no way to having them carry your weight, and that's why it ends up being very uncomfortable after some rides or some hours on the bike. And then the other thing is, it's also very uncomfortable on highway, but then if you leave the highway and you start moving around on the bike and hitting bumps and accelerating and braking and things like that, it's no longer uncomfortable. So for the trip to Ireland, I did the longest section was 700 kilometers on highway, so that was about 8 hours on a highway riding non-stop just to put some fuel. I ate something very quickly, and that was basically the whole day riding. So that's the most tiring. But then in Ireland, I was riding on national roads, not highways, and I never had any issue. And I had the same experience in Scotland, where just riding around on the twisties, it's fine. You can ride all day. It's not a problem. If you go on the highway, then your bum will hurt. So that is another big niggle with this bike. Apart from that, I don't think there's anything else worth mentioning. I mean, some people complain about the brakes not being powerful enough. Other people say it's great, they're awesome. So it's all a matter of opinion. But I think overall it's a great bike. Not the least because of the engine. This engine is amazing, and it remains amazing. Every time I ride, it just puts a grin on my face. It's an awesome engine, and the bike position, I like it. It's a wide handlebars, so you have quite some leverage and an aggressive stance. But then when you get on the highway, you can relax and just ride. So I think it's a great bike. No issues at all. I've replaced a few things under guarantee that I've made videos of, the shock and things like that. I never adjusted the suspension of this bike to my weight. So that might be one of the major contributing factors to the wobble, but I will certainly do that on the new one, and I think everybody should do, and I was just being stupid by not doing and being lazy. So I even think the dealers should do it with you before you leave the garage or the dealership with the bike on the first day. Why can't they just do that? Just sit with your gear and we'll adjust it for you, and you start off with a much better bike than just stuff. So please adjust your suspension there's a million videos on YouTube on how to do it. You don't have to go to a place and spend a lot of money. Of course, if you do, you get a better tailored adjustment, but for a start, just do it on your own. Just grab a friend or a neighbor or somebody to help you, and because I think it will pay off in the end. And I didn't do it, and I regretted every time I was on the bike. And then when I get back home, I say, I'm too tired, I'll do it tomorrow, and then I don't do it. And then next time I'm running, I should have done it, and now bike is not feeling great again. Anyway, adjust your suspension on any bikes, not just this one. And for the rest, it's fine. I had a lot of fun. I did 20,000 kilometers. I don't know how many miles that is. It's 13,000 miles, something like that. It's about average for me in terms of bike ownership. I think I've never had a bike for more than 25,000 kilometers. It's just the way I am. I just like bikes. I like to try new bikes, and after 2-3 years with a bike, I'm ready to get something different and to upgrade or to change. I went from trail bike to sport touring to sport bike, then to sport touring, then to full touring, now back to sport touring. So I keep moving, and actually it's the first time I'm repeating a bike while getting the new GT version, which is essentially the same bike. So it kind of tells you how much I like this bike, because it's the first time I'm trading it for a new one, or basically extending the number of kilometers I'll do on this type of bike by probably another 20,000 or something like that. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the bike. So I will also be doing some reviews on some of the accessories I've installed. So if you want to keep watching these episodes, I will be putting them out regularly until I get a new bike. Please subscribe and share a like and do all those things that YouTube allows you to do. There's even a ringing bell, whatever. But yeah, so I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments if you have one, or if you don't but you'd like to, or if you don't and you wouldn't like to and you just think I'm stupid, also say it. I will probably delete that comment. So see you on the next episode. Bye.